Chapter 4: The Turkish Invasions, Part 2. Objectives. In today's session, we will learn about how the Turks came to India, who was Sultan Mahmud of Ghazni, what was Mahmud's role as a patron of art and literature. Let's start with the explanation of the chapter. First, we'll start with the coming of the Turks. India's disunity made it very easy for the foreign tribes like the Turks and the Afghans to attack India through its mountain passes in the north and northwest. However, these attacks hardly enabled these foreign tribes to establish an foreign empire in India. Then in the mid 9th century CE, the Shahi dynasty came to power in Punjab with Lahore being their capital, Lahore which is now in present day Pakistan. Then Jaipala, the Shahi king, was defeated by the Turkish general Sabuktugin. And it was around circa 986 CE. Circa means approximately around 986 CE. Sabuktugin, he was able to establish a vast empire that included present-day Afghanistan and eastern Iran. Sultan Mahmud of Ghazni. Sultan Mahmud, he was the eldest son of Sabuktugin. He extended the empire further and he established his capital at Ghazni, which was a city in Afghanistan. Sultan Mahmud invaded India several times between 1001 and 1026 CE. It is said, according to the historians, that he invaded India 17 times. First, he captured Peshawar and defeated Jaipala, the Shahi king there. Then he later on took over or captured Multan, and he also annexed or occupied Punjab by defeating Anandpala, who was Jaipala's son. Anandpala, after this, he formed a League of Indian Princes. League means a union of Indian princes against the invader, but the disunity among the Indian rulers proved a disadvantage here, and the Indian forces, due to the disunity among the Indian rulers, were defeated by the very small and mobile Turkish army. And in this way, the rich plains means the fertile plains of northwestern India were now under the control of Mahmud of Ghazni. Then it is said that Mahmud was a good strategist. Good strategist means he was a very good planner. According to historians, it is said that he always used to plan his campaigns against India during the harvest season so that his army did not need to carry food while on invasion to India there. In this way, they were able to carry a huge amount of weapons and armors with them instead of carrying food with them. Areas targeted by Mahmud of Ghazni in India during the course of his attacks. The first two areas targeted by him were Kannauj and Thaneshwar. Then he targeted the temple, Somnath temple and the Mathura temple. Then he targeted two forts. First was the Gwalior fort and the Kalinjar fort. However, despite of his numerous victorious campaigns in which he received victory also, then also Mahmud acquired a very little territory in India. Acquired means he was having hold over a very little territory in India, only the Punjab area, including Lahore and Multan, were retained by him. Were retained by him means were in his hand. Reasons for Mahmud's successes in India. The first and foremost main reason for Mahmud's success in India was the lack of unity among the Rajput chiefs. This I have already explained you earlier that there was lack of unity among the Indian rulers which became the major cause of the defeat of Indian rulers through in foreign invasions. Then, secondly, Mahmud's army was better organized, better led, and better mounted than the Indian forces. Thirdly, the swift horses used by the Turks in battle gave them a greater advantage over the slow-moving elephants, which formed a major part of the Indian defense used by the Indian rulers. On to our next topic, Mahmud as a patron of art. Sultan Mahmud, he was a great patron of art and literature. With all the wealth he had gathered from his foreign invasions, he constructed beautiful and big buildings in Ghazni. Other than this, he also built a library, a museum, and aqueducts to bring water to Ghazni. Aqueducts are just like canals to bring water to faraway areas. Then, among those who enjoyed the patronage of the Sultan, the two authors were there. Among them, the first one was the famous mathematician and astronomer Firdausi, who was the author of Shahnama. Shahnama meaning Book of Kings, which was composed in Iran in around 1010 CE, is said to be one of the longest poem ever written by a single author. Firdausi dedicated his epic to the most powerful ruler of his time, Sultan Mahmud of Ghazni. Then the next author who received patronage from Sultan Mahmud was Al-Biruni, who was the author of Tehqiq-e-Hind. And in this book, information on the life and conditions in India during the time of Mahmud of Ghazni had been given.